This is IBM Museum, and this video is a little bit of a follow-up to an unboxing of one of the items that I did on my live stream this morning. Behind me on the bench is an IBM PC server 330 or 330. And this doesn't really have a page of coverage at the Ardent tool quite yet. There is a model that's below this called the PC server 325 that also is not there. They share a lot of the same characteristics. I don't even have the foot on this one, or it even be taller. I didn't go through and prepare the video screen behind that unit because it's not even visible for this video. This unit is just so huge. And this isn't by no means the largest of these IBM PC servers at all. But the unboxing, there was this strange RAID card. It goes through and adds cache to the RAID assembly. And this PC server 330 does have an Adaptec chipset that's on the planer. It's right at the top, just right below my fingers, just right under this brace and all this packing of cables. And it does have an external SCSI port, as well as this is actually the RAID array cage here. There's a cable that goes to the top. There's also this the back plane, the RAID back plane communication cable that's on this. And then there's an interconnect between the backplane and the SCSI CD-ROM that's here. Within the bay itself, there's actually the ability for 6 drives. And those are on just trays that go through. It has a door, of course, on the front of that. You can go through and you can even hot swap those hard drives in as part of the RAID array for the controller. And so really this is an odd card. This adds more to the RAID capability of the system. And the main aspect of it is this short proprietary slot. And I think this is effectively called a RAID port. But it takes the 32-bit PCI and goes through and adds on this additional connector on the front of it. And I went through even on the live stream today and pulled out this DIMM for the cache, just to show if it had any markings on it at all. And it's got labels on this primary chip that's beneath this, the controller, that I'm not able to see, but it is a ball grid array that's attached right to that PCB. And so just kind of an interesting aspect to it. There it's in full on with my light ring, and I do have the light ring on, and this is a ARO-1130C from Adaptec. And I think that this actually does have the Dell firmware on this unit. It'll probably identify itself as a Dell. That's no matter. It goes through and it should work with the 330. Now, this 330 planer is interesting. The 325, I think, is very similar to this. I think the 325 is a slightly smaller case. Maybe not with the same full-on RAID capabilities or this big of RAID cage in there. But I've already talked about the foot being off of this. There's also the processor card is out of this unit. And I do have both a foot and a processor card on the unit. This is just the easier one to grab for showing inside of there. And it's got some strange assemblies here too. I mean, a little sodium slot for some sort of thing there. The Dallas chip, this DS1230 chip is actually socketed. It's square. It's I don't know, you know, to that at all. This is the Dallas chip. And it's got integrated video on there, some VRAM sockets and things like that. There's even a chipset that is up towards the top here from IBM that's codenamed as, one is codenamed as Viper and the other one is as Rattler. And I thought that was kind of interesting for the snake names. I worked at a place that the servers were named after different types of snakes. Now, for all the other slots here or otherwise, it's got a, you know, these are 32-bit PCI, and of course with this RAID port at the top, it's got that little extension, and then I didn't know or don't know what this extension is here. This is actually more like a insulation displacement connector, but it's right in line with the PCI slot. And whether that may be something else associated with the SCSI, the RAID, or something other on the performance, it's got two ISA slots on the outer side of another 32-bit PCI, and then down here at the bottom, it's got some 64-bit PCI slots. Now, the PC server 325 and 330 are actually dual capable units. The processor card here is actually with the older units, and probably more of an aspect of the PC server 325 is Pentium Pros. And then there is another CPU card on this. I have my other PC server 330 that is the Pentium 2, dual capable, you know, 2 pin. So there's jumper settings and things like that to go through and adjust between these. Now, I went through and in the course of this slot, I thought, hey, there's something kind of cool about the PC servers that I remember, in that on the inside of the cover, IBM did these labels, and I have to make sure that I get to where my webcam doesn't interfere with any of that. But it goes through and it shows the layout of the board, shows the layout of even the CPU card that's down below, and for the processor and also for the system in general. And then see all these different types you can set with that jumper block. And then it doesn't really identify even this so-called RAID port at the top, nor does it go through and talk about that connector that's on in front of that one 32-bit PCI slot. So I still don't have an idea of what this is. And going through and doing the diagram, I'm, you know, going through and of course getting the same diagram on a page will go where we can start to identify some of the aspects of this, but it's nice to have this, how the board is laid out on this unit. So I'll be looking to kind of get more information on the PC server 325 and PC server 330, just like this unit is. So if you thought that this video was informative, you learned a lot, you enjoyed it, go ahead and click on that like button, please. And please subscribe to my channel if you've not done so already. But this is IBM Museum. That's all I have for now. Thank you.